So, for the first time in recorded human history, we have just as many unique Taylor Swift albums as months in the year. So, we are in unprecedented times, and I have decided that I'm going to use my small audience and the ability to do whatever I want with it to make somewhat of a retrospective on each of the album over the next 12 months, starting of course with the first album called Taylor Swift, or debut or self-titled. So I have prepared for us a neat little presentation that I hope we can all see currently, and we're going to go over the basics. I'm focusing mostly on just the album as like a work in itself, not really about around the era, because to be fair, I am a pretty new Swiftie. I would say that I started listening to her more back in the Reputation era, so I'm mostly a Reputation person, but I have become like a Swiftie, listen to all the back catalogue and stuff like that during the Eras era, so I do not remember the way that these previous eras transpired really, especially not this first album, which came out when I was really little, so I can't really talk about the way that it was kind of perceived back then, but I can look at it with the perspective of however many years. We're going to look at just the basic facts. We're gonna have some fun talking about the time period, and then we are going to rank all of the songs according to my personal preferences, and then using mathematics we're going to assess what the rating for each album is, and then by the end of the year I'm going to have a mathematically, so objectively, but also my opinion-y, so subjectively, chosen a favorite album and a least favorite. I'm gonna have a list, and that's really exciting. I have been listening to Debut so much over the whole month of January, a lot more than I usually do. I am a Reputation person, so the idea of listening to Debut just like obsessively is kind of foreign to me, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I think it's going to be a fun time, so we can begin now. The album came out on October 24th, 2006, which is important for us right now because we are currently living in 2026, so it came out 20 years ago. So obviously it's her first album, it's her debut album. The title itself, I would say, is contested because obviously it's called Taylor Swift. That's on its birth certificate, but we have been referring to it as debut because that's just what makes more sense than using the same name as the artist. But she has referred to it more as self-titled, which also makes sense, but that means that this album has 3 names, which might get a little bit confusing. It is, according to Wikipedia, 40 minutes and 48 seconds long, so pretty good length. And then the singles for the album, also according to Wikipedia, are Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, Our Song, Picture to Burn, and Should Have Said No. So I can't really talk about the way that people talked about this album in 2006. I can kind of discuss the way that people talk about it now. I feel like for a lot of people, it is their least favorite album, or the one that they would put at the very bottom. Don't listen to this, I'm covering her eyes. It's her first album. She wrote it as a teenager. She was, 16, almost 17 when this was released, but she wrote a lot of those songs when she was way younger than that, and obviously you can't really hide that, but to me personally, that is not something that detracts from these songs. I think it's cool to have that perspective of a teenage girl, but yeah, a lot of people put this at the bottom because it makes sense to be like, she's only improved from there, right? It's the nicest thing to say, I guess. And I feel like for me, it has ended up at the bottom of the list before, but I don't know how it's going to end up at the end of this year after I do all the rankings, because I have actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. But we'll get to that a bit later. But yeah, let's talk about a great topic to talk about, which is the cover, which is wonderful. It is very much a relic of that time. We can see her face, and she's kind of, I would say, she's kind of crudely photoshopped in. She has very curly hair, so that's not very easy to grab with like a lasso or whatever. And they tried very hard. And then there is the text, obviously, Taylor Swift. And then the background is something that I think I can't perceive. I think this is meant to be the forest. May I suggest the place where the photo shoot for this album took place? But to me, for whatever reason, this looks like she's in like the jungle, which weirdly enough is going to come up again. I don't know, it kind of looks like the jungle and like a river going through the jungle. The river is very blue, like fairy tale blue, and there's a bit of white as if like a sandy beach, but maybe it's just like the foam from the water. I have no idea. And then we have like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't really remember the way that albums looked at the time, or how people edited their photos. Obviously, social media wasn't as big as it is now, but yeah, this is interesting. There's a lot of patterns and butterflies, and they're just kind of behind her, but one butterfly is on top of her shoulder. And I think that if we ever get a redo of this album, I think she should just recreate it exactly the same. I love this cover. It's so, like, I don't know, of its time, but it's great. So, jump scare. I have decided that it would be a good idea for me, and also just for the context, to see what are some of the other major cultural events of that year. And I quickly realized that back in 2006, I was not picking up on popular movies, especially not the ones for adults. So I have chosen the stuff that I recognized, and here we go. Obviously, I put down some iconic albums, right? We can see Beyonce, Amy Winehouse, and High School Musical, the like cast recording or something, and a lot of iconic movies. Obviously, I had to include X-Men and Superman. Right, The Museum, Classic, Open Season, Cars, Barnyard, Step Up, and Marie Antoinette. What a lineup. So now we can talk a little bit about the style, which is very much girly, very much teenage girl, probably because she was a teenage girl. It's like very appropriate for that. It's youthful. She wears a lot of dresses, and obviously she has cowboy boots sometimes, and also the hair, right? We can see in all of these pictures she has her iconic wavy blonde hair that is kind of parted on the side, very millennial style, and her bangs are kind of going over her face in all of those pictures. And the guitar is included often. I just noticed that in this one picture she's barefoot in the car. Now, we had 5 music videos released for this album. Tim McGraw, Our Song, Picture to Burn, Teardrops on My Guitar, and I'm Only Me When I'm With You. Taylor's version, not applicable. We don't have one, but there is a threat of one, because, okay, in that Instagram post that she posted back when she got her master's back, yay, she alluded to the 2 elephants in the room, which are Reputation and debut Taylor's versions, which we thought we were going to get, but then obviously everything worked out in such a way where she didn't have to because she owns these now. So what's going to happen? And about this album, about the debut, she wrote, I've already completely re-recorded my entire debut album and I really love how it sounds now. These two albums, this one and Reputation, can still have their moments to re-emerge. And she has not specified a date or whatever, or if they are for sure going to be released. But with Debut, we know she's re-recorded the whole thing, so she has it, she's sitting on it. And this year, it just so happens to be the 20th anniversary of the album. So I would say it's high time to release a new version of the album, right? I think now that she hasn't got that big reason to release the Taylor's versions, she has to find another one to drop it at whatever time she's going to drop it. So an anniversary re-recording, I'd say, would make sense. And that is fun because it's going to render this video incredibly outdated just a few months after it comes out. I mean, I say a few, it's going to be like 9, but still, because there's going to be vault songs and I will not have ranked them in this video because I don't know what they are. So I want to talk about the aesthetics of this album because I think every album has pretty good, well-defined aesthetics, and this one is really cute. So I have pulled a couple of things from like general knowledge, but also Pinterest, just things that I've observed be kind of assigned to this album. So first of all, I forgot I had added effects here. Okay, so we have cowboy boots. Why not, right? We have them. But of course, white flowers, they come up for every search for this album, even though I don't think they really even get mentioned on any of the songs. Then we have a truck. Obviously, the truck is like the right hand of this album. Then we have light green grass, specifically light green. I don't want to see any dark green grass. It has to be light green. Then we have guitar, again, an obvious one. And then a river in the forest, perhaps motivated by the fact that they did that photo shoot for the album in around the river in what looks like a forest to me. Then we have a butterfly, just like on the cover. And then Y2K, kind of retroactively, obviously at that point when the album came out, it was 2006, so they weren't really thinking about it that way. But now, 20 years later, we look back at it and we're like, oh, this is kind of Y2K, right? So like all the cameras, radio players, stuff like that, I think gets included. And finally, we have a white dress, which is interesting to me because I don't think it gets mentioned on the album, but she was wearing it in that photo shoot, and I would say more just like in that era. And I think that, okay, I'm not gonna go all the way back, that on the cover of the album, she is, I think, wearing like a white something. It might be a dress, might be a t-shirt, or like a top. And now I'm going to talk about frequent motifs of the album, which are words that I've observed be used more than once and sometimes even more. So okay, first of all, we have jeans. Jeans, like my old faded blue jeans and old blue jeans, right? They're always old. This girl does not buy new jeans. Then we have picture, of course, like in Picture to Burn. Then we have I'll put his picture down and maybe get some sleep tonight. I'm taking pictures in my mind. You and I are painting pictures in the sky. We have rain. Trying to see through the rain coming down. Oh, what a shame, what a rainy ending to a perfect day. But he leaves you out like a penny in the rain. I'm taking pictures in my mind so I can save them for a rainy day. Then just the color blue, which is not typically associated with this era. I think people think more about this like teal, light green kind of color that I have in the background here, but blue actually gets name dropped a couple of times on the album. So for example, we have, I guess, the first line on the whole album, he said the way my blue eyes shined, blah blah blah, and my old faded blue jeans, got the radio on my old blue jeans. Then we have a road, and I'm imagining like a country road, which makes sense for the album, right? Had a tendency of getting stuck on back roads at night. Don't know what's down this road, I'm just walking. I try to take the road less traveled by. The radio comes up a couple of times. Someday you'll turn the radio on. I hope it takes you back to that place. Got the radio on, my old blue jeans, blah blah blah. He smiles, it's like the radio. I look around to turn the radio down. I've heard every album listen to the radio. A smile, especially a fake smile. I fake a smile so he won't see. Every smile you fake is so condescending, and you're tied together with a smile. His smiles is like the radio. The smiles, the flowers, everything is gone. Growing up and falling in love, and our mama smiled. She can't see the way your eyes light up when you smile. Or when she smiles. I think I have that one wrong. Whatever. Then we have the sky, which in the sky, the pretty lights. I'll still look at you like the stars that shine, and you and I are painting pictures in the sky. Stars, wishing stars also included. So we have put those Georgia stars to shame that night. The only thing that keeps me wishing on a wishing star. I looked at you like the stars that shined. Friday night beneath the stars. And then song. I hope you think my favorite song. He's the song in the car I keep singing, don't know why I do. He whispers songs into my window. It's strange to think the songs we used to sing. Our song is the slamming screen door. And then eyes, there's too many to read, but he said the way my blue eyes shined, again. Corey's eyes are like the jungle. I just want to open your eye, look in those beautiful eyes and know she's lucky cause, and more. Then I jotted down the porch, even though there's only 2 mentions, but it feels like the porch is omnipresent on this album, at least to me. We have We'll Rock Our Babies on that very front porch, and I was waking up the front porch steps, or I was walking up the front porch steps. And I'm thinking specifically of like an American porch, obviously. And then the truck perseveres. What is debut if not truck persevering? We have Just a Boy in a Chevy Truck. We have I Hate That Stupid Old Pickup Truck. And then 2 a.m. riding in your truck. So trucks are really important here. So overall, this is the compiled aesthetic for this album. I think it speaks for itself. I think it's really cute. So the Era Store. Crickets. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So there was no Era Store era for debut, which is strange because it's not like she did it because she hadn't re-recorded it yet, because she hadn't re-recorded the other ones during the Era Store and they still got eras. So what the frick, Taylor? But that's just how it is, and we didn't get one, and the only thing we got was some surprise songs, and there's nothing more to say. I made a bingo board. This is an idea that I had and I just had to do it. Shout out to myfreebingocards.com for helping me make this bingo card. They had a limited amount of themes, so this is the most accurate that I could find. So they're basically just prompts inspired by the album, things that you can do. And I tried to make it 25 because I really wanted to make the free space stay beautiful, because that's just like so cute and stuff. But I couldn't find 25 unique things that didn't get insane. I just kind of put down 16. I feel like as we go on and we get more and more albums or more and more songs on the albums, it's going to be harder to fit into 25. And here it's kind of hard. So I have 16. So it's a bing, not a bingo. So I have listen to the radio, listen to Tim McGraw, take a road you don't usually take for a road less traveled by, right? Find a place in the world you would want to visit. This one's a bit of a stretch, but this one's referring to a place in the world, like a girl trying to find one, right? So you can find one. You don't have to be a girl. Tell yourself you're beautiful in the mirror, right? Because I mean you're beautiful, right? Steven, the other one who doesn't think they're beautiful and stuff. Find a beautiful view. That's also a reference to the lyric. Jump into the water. Might be difficult in January, but hey, we're into February very soon. I'm sure it's gonna get warmer. So yeah, this one's from Tie Together with a Smile. Watch the stars, because stars are pretty important. Have something cold, for cold as you. So I don't know. Ice cream, again, kind of weird in January, but I don't know where you live. And I don't know, you can have like a nice cold drink, or I don't know, what else do you eat cold? Like a Capri salad. Sing in the car. You won't know why, but you will. Light a candle. I would say light a picture on fire, but I don't think you should be lighting things on fire if you don't absolutely need to do so. So just light something that is meant to be lit, like a candle. Do a puzzle, right? Because there are like pieces, collecting pieces, something like that. Yeah, if you have a puzzle, go ahead. Go to your favorite spot in town for Mary's song. That's cool. I don't know what it can be, but I mean, have fun. Paint a picture, like painting a picture in the sky. Spend time outside, again, January, but you can go outside. Make a snowman, right? Have fun, knock yourself out. And then write a letter to someone for the first song. And yeah, I wish I could have included a track, but I know that not everyone has a track. I don't have a track, and I don't know how I'll find a way to get into one for this bingo, so I have decided to stop us from committing crimes and Grand Theft Auto for this bingo. So this is the end of my presentation, but this is not the end of the video, because we are continuing on with ranking the songs. So I'm going to go through every single one of these songs. Okay, we are off to the ranking section of the video. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Everyone's excited. So yeah, 2 kind of necessary internet disclaimers before I start ranking Taylor Swift songs, because I don't want to get freaking attacked. Okay, so everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? I get to have an opinion, and that doesn't mean that I'm saying you have to have the same opinion the same way. You might disagree with me, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to change my mind all of a sudden, right? You can say in the comments that watermelon is the best fruit in the world, but I don't like watermelon. And no matter how much you're going to say that watermelon's great and that you love it, I'm not gonna like watermelon, okay? I'm never going to like watermelon. And just because I say that I don't like watermelon doesn't mean that you all of a sudden can't like watermelon, or that you're stupid for liking watermelon. It's all just human preferences, okay? That's it, right? And if I like a song, or like, okay, let's say I dislike a song you like, well, maybe I like a song you dislike, so this song is getting more attention, right? Every song is getting a nice and lovely time of day, which means it's even nicer, right? And I might say slightly critical things about some of these songs. That doesn't mean that I don't like Taylor, or that I think she sucks and her songs suck or whatever, because I don't. I'm a huge fan. I mean, I'm here. If I didn't like her, why would I be here right now, right? And then number 2, I think a fun thing to understand about me is kind of what I like about songs and why I listen to music, and that, again, I have my preferences. And the thing about me is I like to listen to fun songs, to songs that are more energetic. So you will have a far harder time trying to sell a ballad to me than like a regular like fun little song. So that will play into it. And also, I am not emotionally strong enough to listen to sad songs. So I have a special category for sad song, which is the D tier, which is I don't listen to them, but not because they're bad, but because they're sad. So as you can see, I have prepared the traditional, how many is it? 6 tiers. And I'm going to put my songs into these categories, and each category has a different amount of points, and then I will calculate an average at the end because I love maths, and that will give us the average for this album, and that will be able to be compared later on to other albums. I hope that's not boring to people because they don't like maths, but I do like maths, okay? It's fun. And okay, so the categories, I'm not gonna bore you with the explanations that are too detailed. F, I don't listen to it. B, too sad to listen to it, sorry. C, on my playlist, but like I'm not super ecstatic about it. B, good song, I really like it. A, favorite song, right? S is like restricted to like the best of the best. I'm talking about like if I had my pick for surprise songs on the Era Store, this is where I would pick from, the S tier. So like, yeah, I might like a song, I might think that the song is great, but would I ask Taylor to play it for me over these like favorite songs? Probably not, right? So the S tier is for those favorite songs, right? The S stands for surprise song. And that's it, right? And fair warning, these songs are not going to end up there, sorry. But I think this is a great place to start. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I took notes, guys. This is serious. So, okay, first of all, we're doing Tim McGraw, okay? So, the first thing to say about Tim McGraw is that Taylor 100% succeeded at the thing that she set out to do, which is to make people think of her when Tim McGraw comes up. So, the fun thing about that is that I don't really know who Tim McGraw is. I'm not American. I don't know anything about country music. So this is my introduction to him. So how could I not think about Taylor? So she did what she wanted, and I fell for it. Another thing that I want to mention is the fact that she mentions that she talks about a black dress in this, and I feel like that's a Mandela effect. I think just because of the amount of white dress imagery, I always feel like she's going to say that little white dress, but she says little black dress, which to me makes little to no sense, because obviously you're gonna wear like a white dress in the summer. Obviously you can wear a black dress, but I don't know, like it feels more suitable to say white dress, to the point where I'm still doubting myself if she actually says black dress, or if maybe she like switches it up mid-song, like at first it's a little white dress and then a little black dress. Maybe that's the case, but I feel like I'm losing my mind. So yeah, another point is why Georgia, right? Aren't you from Pennsylvania, Taylor? And then Nashville? Georgia's like in the middle of this too, isn't it? So why were you there? Also, this song is written from the perspective of Taylor, right? And she was 16 when this album came out. And she was probably even younger when she was writing this. And she says that there's a letter from 3 years back. So was this boy 12 riding a truck to Georgia from Pennsylvania? That's a lot. That's a lot to think about. And I would like to highlight a lyric that I never really noticed before, which is the moon like a spotlight on the lake. I think that's really cute. So overall, where will I place Tim McGraw? So I went back and forth between 2 categories because I think it's a fun song. I like it, but I'm not like super excited about it, so I think I'm going to have to put it in C. It's in C tier, even though I was thinking B, but no, I think more realistically it's a C tier. Next we have, but of course, Picture to Ban. Where is it? Here. Picture to Ban. I wrote out Revenge because I feel like Taylor has a fair share of like gearing up for revenge songs. She's kind of known for that, just like at least partially, and this is like a prime example of that. I think like right out of the gate she hits you with that sappy Tim McGraw song, and then Picture to Ban, right? Like you tried me and you failed. So now I'm going to set you on fire. But also it's just a picture. And also, why is going out with his best friend's revenge? Maybe this is just me being not a teenager from the early 2000s, but wouldn't his friends not want to go out with her if, like, they've broken up? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Picture to Burn, absolute icon. It's the first one to go into the A tier. That's right, everybody. It's an A tier. Then we move on to Teardrops on My Guitar. Ooh, there's actually 2 versions of this song on the album, the regular one and a pop remix, but I don't know anything about music, right? Again, I'm not ranking these songs based on how good they are, like sonically, how well she sings, the mixing or whatever. I don't know any of that, okay? And if not placed side by side, I can't really spot the difference between the two. So I'm not ranking both of these separately. I'm ranking them as a full package. So this one is like solid. I have a crush on somebody who doesn't know that, and they're just so cool, and they like someone else maybe, and I'm just a teenage girl, and I'm crying in my room. I don't know a lot of people called Drew, so whenever I hear the line, Drew talks to me, I laugh because it's so funny. I just think of, I like watching Drew Gooden's videos too, Taylor, and I do think they're funny. I also want to point out the lyric, wishing on a wishing star, because it perplexes me a little bit. Not that I'm saying I could have written it better, because I couldn't, but it's interesting to me, like, just kind of logic-wise, why she didn't say wishing on a shooting star, to not repeat the word wish, but also maybe it just sounded more, like, clunky or something, but it's interesting. Overall, I think it's a very solid song, but it's not my favorite song, and I will put it in B. So next we move on to A Place in This World is here. So this one, I wanna talk about the way she shouts, "I'm alone," and then the absolute goosebumps of the line, "Maybe I'm just a girl on a mission, but I'm ready to fly." Just the way she says that is so good. I would say in general, this one, it's the title, right? It's about trying to find a place in this world as a young girl, right? Teen. I will say that this song gives very strong opening of a DCOM kind of vibe, or even in the middle of a DCOM. If you don't know what that is, this is a Disney Channel original movie. I think it would be like Right at Home and something like that. So I think it's iconic, but again, there's not much more iconic about it to me personally, past those 2 lines that I mentioned, and like, it's fine that I don't really gravitate towards it. So I'm going to say that it's a C tier, and it's going to go below Tim McGraw. I'm going to try to organize them too, just to make it more difficult for myself. So then we have our first track 5 of ever, right? First album, so first track 5, and it's called As You.
5 Fortnite YouTubers who've sworn.
So if you don't know, track 5 is usually the most vulnerable song on the Taylor Swift album. It's not like a general rule for every artist, but for Taylor, it happens to be. It's not all the time. But this is the first one in the collection, and this one is referring to like a cold person, someone who treats her poorly, and how she feels about it. I will say that I am a bit offended by the line, what a rainy ending to a perfect day, because what do you have against rain, Taylor? I like the rain. I think it's still a perfect day if it rains. I think it's even a better day if it rains, if I were to be honest. I also love the bridge. It's just really good, and also the line, "with the nerve to adore you," it's just so poignant in my opinion. And I will say that this is like a technically older but a little sister to Dear John, which is an iconic track 5 also. I think it's like a precursor to that. This one, I know this is gonna offend so many people. It's gonna offend people, and I'm so sorry. But unfortunately, even though I like the song, I would also put it in C, but before these two. Right? Like this. Is it going to stay here? Time will tell. But yeah, Cold As You, I think a really good song. I just don't listen to it enough to be like a B tier. So there we go. But it's up there, okay? It's closer. Next up, after a track 5, you need a pick me up. So we're gonna have The Outside. Where is it? The Outside. Yay. Okay, so The Outside is a song that is made for like shy people. Obviously, the outsider, a person who wants to be included but isn't, right? A person who struggles making connections with other people, struggles to be a part of the group. That's the song. But it's an absolute freaking bop. I don't know why she did it this way, but she sings about these like very relatable topics to like a teenager who wants to fit in but can't. But she was like, bring out just the best beat ever. Make it cool, make it fun to listen to, even though it's sad. And I'd describe it honestly as an I Want song, which is a term that I have had being referred to songs in musicals where the protagonist usually sings about their main want. So for example, When Will My Life Begin from Tangled would be an example, or Part of Your World in The Mermaid. This one I think fits with songs like this. I will say that the concept of the outside gets a bit muddled in the song because she talks about being on the outside but also never being on the outside. And I think it gets a little bit, I don't know, like a bit complicated for no reason. And I love this song like unexpectedly. I don't know why I like it the amount that I do, because this is a B tier song. A B tier. Then we have Tied Together with a Smile. So I'll be honest, I didn't get this song for a very long time. Because it's kind of slow, right? There's not a lot of like exciting things happening in here. So for the longest time this was left off of my playlist, and now it's not. I think that the instruments at the beginning are really cool. And also the line about the penny in the rain, it's so dramatic. It's like something you will see, like I associate it with in my head with like, I don't know, like a scene about a sad dog, like an animated movie about a sad dog in the rain, like next to like a trash can. It's really sad, but it's so good. It's such a good line. and the way her voice freaking shakes when she says he leaves the yard like a penny in the rain. Masterpiece, right? Put her in the Hall of Fame. And also at the end of the song she starts saying goodbye. She's all like, goodbye baby, but also it's the middle of the album, Taylor. You should know that. So yeah, while I've sung my praises to this song, it's another C star. I mean, what? It's another C tier. So it's going all the way over here, but I still like her, okay? I still like her. Then the next one is the one and only Stay Beautiful. Wait, I didn't tell you what Try to Give Her a Smile is. What's a perfectly good heart doing here? Pfft, this is a mess. This is supposed to be a place in this world. Okay, I'm sorry. That was probably bothering somebody. So, Tied Together with a Smile is essentially about somebody who is trying their best, but they are faking how happy they are. That's basically the song. I've always imagined it being the inverse of The Outside, because The Outside's like the unpopular kid, whereas Tied Together with a Smile is like the high achiever, maybe even the popular girl who everyone admires, but she doesn't see it, right? She thinks that she's not beautiful, that she's not cool, that she's not talented, and yet like everyone can see that she is all those things, and she starts to give her a smile, right? So hey, no one saw that. It's C once again. So now stay beautiful. Let me read to the way that this song opens, because this is the way you read it on the song. So these are the opening few lines, okay? Corey's eyes are like a jungle. He smiles, it's like the radio. He whispers songs into my window in words that nobody knows. What does any of that mean? I'm serious. What does she mean by that? I think this is the most profound writing she has ever done. I don't think this is understandable to an average human being. Because Corey's eyes are like a jungle. In what way are they like a jungle, right? Are they green? Because the jungle is a lot of things, and it is green, but I don't know. I feel like you could have compared it to something more obvious. But, you know, she went with a jungle, and I think that's unprecedented. So I think that's great. He smiles, it's like the radio. He smiles like a radio. What kind of radio do you have, Taylor, that it smiles? Or do you feel like a radio when he smiles? Right? Because he smiles, it's like the radio, right? It feels like you're a radio. Whispers in words nobody knows. What is this man doing? What is he doing at your window, whispering in an unknown language? Songs also? He's whispering songs. That is an interesting thing to do. Sorry, whispering songs? How do you even do that? I love this song so much. I don't know. I hope it's understandable. Does he know? Seriously, does he know? I think it is a unique concept. The idea of having like an infatuation of someone, maybe like limerence, thinking that someone's so cool and so attractive, but you don't necessarily need to end up with them, right? She's singing at this guy called Corey, and she's like, you're so beautiful, but like, even if we're not going to end up together, I hope just for everyone's sake that you stay beautiful, because you're such a favor to the world being this good looking and this like, I guess, jungle and radio like. And I think that is a concept that I've never seen really explored as much, and I think it's really cool, and I love it. And then I do kind of feel like it evolves by the end. I think she just kind of starts saying beautiful a lot, like she kind of loses the plot. It's a beautiful song. So what do you expect her to do? I love it so much, but again, I've only really discovered how much I like it now, like when I started listening to it more, and I would say it's more of a C tier. I feel like if I was making like a playlist of Taylor Swift highlights, I think it would have a hard time making it on there. But I do still feel like it's important. It's an important listen. I think it makes you think. Then we have The Icon, Should Have Said No. Now this one's just the palpable anger and disgust in her voice as she sings this is just too good. It's too good to be true. The way she's like, and I can't resist. It's like that. And one more thing after an argument. It's cool. It's really cool. Also, I have noticed that after she ends the song and she says me, like in the singing way, the way I can do, the note that finishes the song kind of sounds like the way she says me. That's cool. So yeah, this one's about yelling at a guy who, I don't know, I think cheated on her, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, it was a moment of weakness. And she's all like, well, I don't care anyway, you're dumped. And she yells at him, and it's really exciting, and I am putting it in A tier, before Picture to Bed. I think they're sister songs in my head, but Should Have Said No, it's just, it hits really well. Then we have Mary's song. the cutest little song ever. I love this one. It's so cute. Um, it's like a baby. It's basically, from what I've heard, a song dedicated to these people Taylor knew. I think her neighbors or something, who were at the time elderly, but she told the story of their life from their childhood, so we can see these two meet as like little kids, and then fall in love as teenagers, then they get engaged and married, and then they age on the porch and they have babies. And I need to ruin the moment because I'm going to say what this reminds me of. Has anyone seen Swan Princess, the animated movie? Because in that one, I used to be obsessed with this one scene, which is basically like a montage of the main two characters, the Swan Princess and the Prince, Odette and Derek, meeting as kids and then hating each other. And then it is a musical number, by the way. And they're basically like supposed to get married as adults, but they don't like each other. And then they grow up and they see each other as like grown-ups, and all of a sudden they're in love immediately. And the line, I'm not the kid, or whatever, I'm not the little girl I used to be, so, like suddenly, it reminds me so much of that moment. I love that so much. And that was like my favorite scene in the whole series, which, by the way, yes, I saw the other movies too, and I did love them, okay? Anyway, so Mary's song, I think another thing that it has going for it is the weird coincidence of Taylor writing the song as a teen, right? More than 20 years ago, and she writes the line, I'll be 87, you'll be 89. And now Taylor, in her 30s, is engaged to a guy whose jersey is the number 87, and she is obviously the number 89. It's just, it works out. Crazy how it works out like this. I think it's great. And so Mary's song is going solidly into B tier. We're wrapping up 4 songs left, and we're going into our song. And where's that going to end up? I think this is going to be surprising, or maybe not surprising at all. So our song is, to me, like joy put into a bottle, and I think this is just such a cute song. Such a good energy from the song. Just like it's perfect. I think it's perfect. It never fails to cheer me up. Whenever I can hear these like opening notes, I'm like, here we go. It's our song. It's the best song of all time. But also not really. It's the best song on the album. I'm just going to put it in A tier and right there. Don't care if that makes me basic, because it was a single and a lot of people know this song. But it was a great choice, right? It's an incredible song. It's like basically a love song, right? It's Taylor being like, hey, me and my partner, we don't have a song. Let me write one. And this is the process. And it's so good, right? The track comes back up. Leave it to Taylor Swift to make tracks romantic, or at least, I mean, if she thinks that, that's okay. We get the line, his one hand on the steering wheel, the other on my heart, right? Every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, thigh or something. I know she's a teenager, but like the heart, right? That, honestly, the shoulder would make more sense. Right, I don't know, or top of head, the heart, like how can he even aim that? I'm assuming he's driving because he's holding the wheel, right? So like, I don't know, I'm trying to do the motion right now. That's really uncomfortable. It also says that when they talk, she says, and you talk real slow instead of real low, because it's late and your mama don't know, which I have seen people say that's how it used to be in 2006 you talk slower. And I'm just going to let them say that and say that maybe it actually does make sense. But I think that the motivation was the fact that the word real ends with an L, and so if she said reload, it would sound like one word. But whatever, it's a fun little line. I've also never really realized, which like it's kind of obvious, that line, the very line about and you talk real slow, I'm sorry for saying it like that, is from his POV. So it's not Taylor being like, okay, you guy with the steering wheel, when I call you, you talk really slow because your mama doesn't know. It's him saying that about Taylor. So it's Andrea who doesn't know. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out, but it did. I also love the final chorus when she just gets so excited. You can just hear it in her voice. I think it's perfect. I think it's great. Then we get to I'm Only Me When I'm With You, a very long title. This one is just basically about people who love each other so much and they know each other like the back of their hands. They know everything about each other and they love spending time together, and it's not really made clear if it's like a romantic relationship or if it's a friendship or like a relationship in family, right? It could be a girl and her dog or something, even though I mean at one point she does say small town boy and girl, so I guess it has to be that, right? For whatever reason, I am almost entirely physically incapable of retaining the lyrics of the song outside like the very few, right? I remember the chorus, I remember the boy and girl line, I remember painting pictures in the sky, but whatever happens outside of that, none of my business, I don't remember, right? I also think this song is really, really well composed. I don't know, I think the melody is great. Every time it comes on, you get excited, probably because what was it before that? I think, what was it before that? Our Song. I guess you're already super excited from Our Song, so then you get I'm Only Me When I'm With You, and you just ride that wave all the way there. And I don't know, I really like it. I almost put it in A, right? It was like teetering on the side there, but I'm going to put it top of B, which like, still, when I set out to make this list, I thought we were going to have mostly C's. So the fact that we have like such a good proportion of B's and A's, that's cool. Then we have Invisible, which the only thing I can say about this is the word underrated. I don't see people getting excited about this song at all, right? It's another crush song. It's another he doesn't even see me. He likes someone else. I want him to like me instead. And I think it's just a really cute song. I think the melody's nice. I think I listen to it more than a lot of these songs, actually, even in the beat here. And I personally really like it. I think, and I know I'm putting it middle of B, right? Because I definitely listen to it more than these two and more than these two. But these are just more boppy, so they're ahead. And then finally, the final one, we have... They do it again. I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, we have A Perfectly Good Heart, which is currently in F, but honestly, she just wants to go there. She wants to go there, but I'm not gonna let her. I'm going to be kind. So for the longest time, this has been the only song from the debut that I did not have on my playlist. So it would end up in F. But recently, as I've been listening to this album more and more, I've kind of realized that the belting of the word Y is kind of entertaining to kind of sing along to. So it's on the playlist. It's still, in my opinion, the weakest song on the album. I don't know, it's kind of like she didn't have enough time to finish it, because it starts off strong. I will say at the beginning it's like the same kind of level of quality as the other ones, but then she just straight up doesn't write any new lyrics, it's just same thing over and over, and like it's a fine set of lyrics, but it's like, I get it. I get you don't understand why he would break a perfectly good heart. And that's what the song is about. She says that like a million times. So, well, it's fine. It's not like, she's not reinventing the wheel here. She's also not, I don't know, burning the world down. But like, it's a C. It's like barely a C, but it's a C. I'm going to let her. So, that's it. I did not put anything in F, which I thought I would. I did not put anything in D because I don't really cry to any of those songs, so they're safe. And I did not put anything in S, right? But these songs are still great, in my opinion. These are really good, and these are cute, right? I like them. I love them, and I'm obsessed. And this is what's running my veins, and there's nothing here. Okay? Bloodless. So now I think it's time for the calculation. So let's do some maths, people. I know everyone loves that. So we have 3 times 5 points, so that's 15, plus 4 times 5 points, which is 20. I hope I'm going to do this math right. I'm being filmed. This is stressful, right? 5 times 4, 20. 5 times 3, 15, and then 6 times 3, which is 18. So that's 53 points together for this album, but obviously that would be unfair because some albums are just way longer, so even if they all get like no points almost, they might get like more than that. So instead I'm going to divide it by the number of songs. It gives us 3.79, right? I'm gonna round up because it's a 5. So 3.79 is what this album gets, which if we try to get a percent, it's like about 76%. And this is not 76% enjoyed, like I'm barely there. I'm talking about 76% to like the best album of all time. So I'm gonna say that's pretty good. And I'm going to say that a lot of albums are going to be in similar range. Except for Reputation, which is going to be on top, and this series doesn't make any sense. But yeah, this is what we're coming out with. 76% or a 3.79. And this is all I have for you in this video. I hope you found it tolerable. I hope you liked it. If you do, tell me in the comments. If you didn't, also tell me in the comments. Like or dislike, subscribe. Yeah, don't block. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, month, year, millennium, and I hope you enjoy this album, and let me know what your favorite song is and your least favorite song. Let's be fun, and I will see you later. Bye.